Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our Facebook Live. My name is Emily. I'm one of the keepers here at the Houston Zoo, and I am standing in front of our Humboldt penguin habitat. We are in our Galapagos Islands exhibit here at the Houston Zoo. Now, behind me, we do have 16 Humboldt penguins that live here at the Houston Zoo. As you can see right now, we have two keepers inside, Maggie and Amanda, and they are feeding the penguins their breakfast. Like I said, these are Humboldt penguins. One big question we get is, why do we not have Galapagos penguins? And that is because Galapagos penguins are considered very endangered. This means that they are very protected in their native home of the Galapagos. Anything that is endemic to the Galapagos must stay there, as it is a protected marine area. So to make sure that their populations are staying healthy, we do have the Humboldt penguins acting as ambassadors for their Humboldt cousins. They do belong to the same family, so they are a species of banded penguin, which you can tell from the band underneath their beaks. The only difference between the Humboldt and the Galapagos penguins is mainly in size. Galapagos penguins are going to be a little bit smaller, and they also have a longer and more narrow beak. Other than that, they do look very similar, which is why we have the Humboldt penguins acting as ambassadors. Now, Humboldt penguins are native to South America. They're going to be found off the coast of Chile and Peru. They are a temperate species. Another question we get is, why is there no snow in the exhibit? And that is because they are warm weather penguins. They are found in much warmer climates, so we do keep their exhibit at about 65 to 70 degrees. However, they are found usually in colder waters. That is where they typically hunt. So we do keep their water at about 55 to 60 degrees. However, it would be much too cold in the Arctic waters for these penguins, which is why they are considered warm weather penguins. Now, like I said, you can see our penguins are getting their breakfast for the morning. Here at the Houston Zoo, we do feed them a variety of different fish. The majority of that is capelin and herring. So capelin is going to make up the majority of their diet. It is a small fish. And then we give them herring, which is a much fattier fish, and that helps to put on a nice blubber layer around their body. We also feed them a much smaller fish called silver sides, and that basically acts as dessert for our penguins. They get it only a few times a week, so it is like a little treat for them, but we want to make sure that they are eating the majority of their diet, so we give them the silver sides just as a little reward. Now, penguins do not chew their food. They actually do not have teeth. Instead, when they open their mouth, you might be able to see barbs on their tongue and the roof of their mouth, and that is what helps to guide fish down their throat. They do have a little hook on the end of their beak, which they can use to help them catch their prey. It also helps them to tear fish apart if they are too big. However, they will then swallow all of those pieces whole. Now, penguins do have two layers of feathers on their body. You'll notice those black and white feathers are what we call contour feathers. They are going to be used a lot for camouflage. They do have a form of camouflage called counter shading, and that means that their back is dark and their belly is light. The way it works is, if a predator were to look above them, their dark back would actually blend in with the bottom of the ocean. If a predator were to look from below, then their whiter bellies would actually blend in with the top of the water. This does help to keep them safe from predators. Their native predators are going to be things like sharks, sea lions, and seals. Now, they do have a second layer of feathers that are more internal. They have their down layer, and that's really what's going to help keep them warm. So their down layer is the white, very soft feathers that are closest to their skin. They do trap air bubbles in between their down layer of feathers, and that helps to keep their skin warm. But they also have an oil gland at the base of their tail. They are able to spread that oil all around their body, and it keeps those outer layer of feathers waterproof. This does help them in the water. Whenever they come to the surface, you might notice water beating off their body, and that is because they are waterproof. So this means that their skin and down layer of feathers never actually touches the water. The only area on a penguin's body that does not have feathers is around their face and beak and on their feet. Those are areas where they are actually able to help cool themselves down. Just like if you guys come and visit us here at the Houston Zoo and come join us at the Galapagos Islands, you'll get some nice AC to cool down. Well, the penguins actually use those areas of skin that are exposed to help cool themselves down. Blood is able to go to those areas if they're a little bit warm, and it helps to with the heat exchange by the blood being more exposed to the air. They are also able to then jump in the water, which, like I said, is about 55 to 60 degrees, and that can help cool them off rather quickly. Now, if they are resting on land, you may notice a penguin having a wing or a foot sticking out, and that is another way that they are helping to cool themselves down. However, they do need to make sure that they are staying warm in the water. So the way they do that is using those that air layer around their body that's trapped in the down feathers, and then the waterproof feathers that they have. They also have a blubber layer around their body, which is just a layer of fat, and that helps to insulate them when they are swimming through the water. Now, our penguins are going through a molting season right now, and that is a process that lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, where they will lose every feather on their body and they will grow a whole new set of feathers. Now, they do go through a process called catastrophic molting, which just means that it happens all at one time. So what happens during molting is they will actually eat a whole lot right beforehand. They'll gain a lot of weight, and then they will stop eating, and they will stay on land and lose all of those feathers. Now, we do have one penguin in particular. His name is Alex. He is sitting kind of right up at the front. He is in that process of molting right now, whereas everybody else has molted. And we are still waiting for Peggy and Dolly, who are our last two penguins that still need to molt. So Alex is going through that molt right now, where you can see he looks a little bit scruffy. He's losing those outer black and white feathers, and you can see the down layer is exposed. So at this time, he is not waterproof, which is why he will not be going into the water and swimming as much. He also will not be as hungry because he did gain all of that weight prior to molting. Since they are not waterproof, it is not safe for penguins to go out into the ocean and hunt. So naturally, they do stop eating during this process. Now, we will offer him food throughout his entire molt, but it is completely normal for him to not want to eat and for him to just hang out with his friends. Now, Peggy and Dolly are going through their pre-molt right now, which means they are gaining a lot of weight. They do look a little bit larger than they normally do. However, they have not started dropping those feathers yet. So hopefully in the next week or so, they will start that molting process, and they will join all of the rest of their friends with being fully molted. Once they are molted, they look very pretty. They're very shiny and sleek because they do have all of those new feathers on their body. Typically, they do molt around the end of the summer, and that does coincide with the end of their breeding season, which is usually in the spring. They do get rather dirty during their breeding season, and so it is nice after that to molt and get a whole new layer of feathers so that they can be nice and clean and beautiful again. Well, it looks like our penguins might be almost wrapped up with their food. It looks like they're kind of slowing down on eating. They are what we call self-regulators, which means that they are able to know how much food they need at a particular time. We don't really have to worry about overfeeding or underfeeding them too much, because they are going to tell us when they are full. As you can see, they've stopped taking fish from Amanda, and so that just means that they are done with their meal for today. Or for this morning. We will come back later in the afternoon and give them some more food and see if they are hungry. So I will go ahead and sign off for now, but I do want to thank everyone for joining us here on Facebook Live and getting to see a little bit of our penguin exhibit and getting to see our penguins enjoy their breakfast. I hope everybody comes out and visits us, especially in the heat this summer. The Galapagos Islands exhibit is a great way to cool off. It is air conditioned and is almost entirely indoors. So make sure you come on out and see us here at the Houston Zoo. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and come out and see us here at the Galapagos Islands. Thank you, everyone.